All right, we are moving on now. You've gotten through two stages of creating your website. You've got the content there. Then we learned cascading style sheets as a language. So you got that information and color and all kinds of nice stuff in there. So now we want to get to the part where you're adding images. And before we do that, we've really got to talk about what do you have permission to use. If it's not yours, you've got to have permission. So we're getting into something called intellectual property. Intellectual property means like something was created by somebody and we have to have permission to be able to use it. So there are going to be about 5 scenarios here. I want you to pause the video after each one, have some discussion about it with your elbow partners, talk at your table about, do you think this is fair, which would be thumbs up, not fair, thumbs down, or you're kind of in between because you're not really sure, it kind of depends. All right, so here's scenario number 1. You take an awesome picture and you put it on your social media, then someone else puts it on their social media account. They put your name beside the picture. Go. Okay. How about scenario number 2? You write a story, someone else publishes it and says that they wrote it. Go. Psst, yeah, that one's totally not okay. Number 3, you write a song, someone else sings it to her friends. Go. Scenario number 4, you write a song, someone else sings it at a concert and makes a lot of money from it. Go. Not okay. Well, is it specific enough? Did it say whether they shared some of that money with you? And here's number 5. You take a picture, someone else takes your picture, photoshops it, puts the new version on their website. Think that's fair or not? On your mark, get set, go. Okay. So we are making websites. This is not just kind of some school project that perhaps no one else will see. So we've got to really get into what kind of rules are there that protects people's artistic work, and then how does that protect people's rights when we want to use each other's content, and how does that work? Okay, so there is something that we're going to learn about today called Creative Commons, and it kind of goes hand in hand with something called copyright. The first thing that I want you to do is pause here, jump out and watch this video that starts to explain Creative Commons to you, and then we'll jump back in and take some notes. So you'll make sure you have your notes. So pause me, go watch this one. Alrighty, so here's what are kind of the rules that we are going to use to operate under as we are getting into things like making websites, publishing, and being respectful and understanding and legal about creative work and who can use what. Okay, because there's tons of stuff that's posted out there, and we have to make sure we're abiding by creator's privilege. Now, you've probably heard of something called copyright. Don't write this definition down yet because we're going to make this a little shorter, okay? Here's what the big definition says. It is the exclusive legal right to print, publish, perform, film, or record some sort of literary, artistic, or musical material and authorize others to do the same. That's a lot. So here's how I'm going to have you write this. So write copyright. Okay. Basically, this is a legal protection. Let's write that. It's a legal protection. If I create something and I want to copyright it, this is a legal process where I take it and go through a legal process to protect my work. And what that does is means others must have permission from me. Okay, so you can say others must have permission. You can't just use it. You have to have explicit permission. Usually it'll be something in writing. This happens a lot with music where somebody all of a sudden wants to just use somebody else's music, and it gets a little dicey. Sometimes the original creators get angry and say, hey, you didn't ask my permission to do that. Nope, you can't do that. All right. Now, this has to do with must have permission to either print it, to publish it. By the way, this means website, internet. Okay. I'm just going to write web there. Is there anything behind perform? Okay. Let's add perform. Film. So record, video it. Okay. Or record. Okay. All of these things, if something's copyrighted, you have to get permission in order to print, publish, perform, film, or record it. Okay. Now that gets kind of dicey. First, before we go any farther, let's make sure we understand. You see that symbol? That should be now considered like a danger sign or a warning sign for you. Okay. The other thing that happens, and this often you see, I think, more with like logos, like the Nike swoosh and things, you might see something like the letter R in a circle. That's a registered trademark, or a T and a little M that has to do with trademarking something. Those are also some kind of protections. When you see that kind of stuff, steer clear of it. You have to have permission to use these things. We're talking about this now because websites mean there's an opportunity for this to get spread far and wide, and you cannot use things that you don't have permission for. Okay. I'm not saying you never can use something copyrighted. I'm just saying you have to have specific written permission in order to use that. So how do we get around this? We use a filter to look for things that have Creative Commons instead. Okay, this is a thing that you are going to get very, very familiar with, especially as we look at images. This is similar to copyright. It's a way to protect, and this is a way for you to protect if you're an artist, you're creating things. Okay, so it's similar to copyright. It's a legal process, but it's a little easier because you can just put this on your creative work. Okay, this gives permission with certain types of situations or scenarios, which we're going to investigate today. Gives permission, not permissions. Okay. All right. So that's what I want you to have down for notes for what copyright is, kind of common symbols you might see, and what Creative Commons is. Okay. Now let's start diving in to this worksheet called Licensing Your Work. We're going to do some of this together, and some of it you're going to do on your own. Okay. They kind of have this long definition for copyright again. If you want to put that little symbol right next to it to help you remember, that's what it means. Okay, now Creative Commons also has similar icons. Okay, see these ones? There's each different ones. They kind of blasted over this quickly on the video. So let's go through each one of these. This first one, put a little star by this one. See how it looks like a person? Okay, it's called attribution. Others who use this work must give credit to the original author. That means a person's name. All right. So anytime you see Creative Commons, you have permission to use it. You have to put which combination of licenses this appears. So this one is the one that's always on here. If you see Creative Commons, it's always going to have the BY for attribution, or by. Who's it by? Who created it? So the reason to use it is so that you give credit to Now, sometimes I use the word author, but sometimes we're closed-minded and think author is just writer. So this is for music, for artwork. So I'm just going to say creator. Give credit to the creator. You will see it look like this: CC for Creative Commons, BY, just because it's hard for us to create these logos, right? So CCBY, you will see this start every single permission, okay? You'll always have to give credit to the creator. All right, then you have these three, which are different, and you can use these in different combination depending on what whoever created it wanted to do. So this icon makes sense. $ slash through it. Non-commercial, NC, non-commercial. Others can't use this work for advertising or to make money. So if you have a cool picture or some kind of design, I can't take it, put it on a t-shirt and sell it and make money if you have this on that picture or logo that you've created. So this one means this: others can't make money. Can't make money from your work. Here's how this would look. CC, it always has Creative Commons. It will always say give credit to the original creator. That's the BY attribution. And then you would add in NC. Okay? So that means you have to give credit to the creator and can't make money from it. Okay. Next one. All right. This one says share alike. Okay, see how it looks the logo kind of looks like this recycling symbol? This one is probably the most challenging to understand. Share alike says users of this work have to share any new versions under the exact same license. What does that mean? Here's what this means. You are giving permission for others to use and change your work. They still have to give you credit, okay? But when someone sees it, they're going to say, oh, so this person created this, but they took so-and-so's original and did something to it. So this would look this way: CC BY-SA. There you go. Okay. Like I said, this one's a little hard because this one says you can change it. That is kind of the exact opposite of this one. See this last one with the equal sign and the ND? This means equals no derivative works. Users can only use this work as is and cannot make any changes. No changes. This one, you can make changes. So these two will never be together because they're opposites. Okay. So this one would look like this. Okay. And I'll just say can't change it. You have to use their original. They're giving you permission. You can use it, but you cannot change it. So it would be like, oh, I'm using Mr. Pagel's original picture, okay? And I'm going to give him credit, and I can't alter it. I can't crop it. I can't put a filter on it. I have to use it as is. So this would be BY and then ND. Now there's lots more combos. You can put more of these together. You would just never use these two together because this one says, yep, you can change it. This one says, nope, you can't. Okay. Sometimes you might see some other ones. This one is called a GNU free documentation license. I got to be honest, I have never seen this one. So it says you can use the work you want, but you must publish new versions sharing the same license. This is kind of like the essay, but I will say I've never really seen it. So I'm just going to put a line through this. If you find one, my goodness, show me because I still have never seen one of these. Weird. Okay, Pixabay license. This one's kind of vague. We're going to use Pixabay a lot. because they have a lot of great free images. It says, don't use the work to make people look bad, spread dishonest information, or sell exact copies. So, yeah, it's kind of a situation where yes, it's free, um, but you got to have some like moral compass to use it. Um, I will say you can use Pixabay license. Usually, we'll say free to use, free for use, or as you're going to see on the next one. Well, this one does say don't sell, so no derivatives, I should say. NC, non-commercial use. It's kind of like that one. Basically, usually a Pixabay thing, we're going to probably say something like this: public domain. If you see something that has public domain, it is totally free. You can use it, you can change it, you can do whatever you want with it. All right. These are great to see. Sometimes it'll just say the words public domain. It also has a Creative Commons license that says CC0. I'm going to put that slash through it so you can tell it's a 0, not an O. If you ever see this or public domain, totally free, can change it. You can use it however you want. Okay. These are great to find. All right. Flip your paper over. Now, they've got some different combos. There'll be some scenarios for you to work through. But when you go on this image hunt and you're going to do this, what I want you to do is remember a couple of things. And I'm going to have you right here. I'll demo it once. Google images. When you're going to look, we're going to get trained this way. Google, look for images, go to tools, and then Creative Commons. I'll say Creative Commons. What does this look like? Okay, let me show you what it will look like. All right, here we go. So let's say I'm going to tell you, all right, we're going to look for a puppy. Okay, image of a puppy. Easy peasy. So we type in puppy. Cool. Before you go digging in, images comes next. Okay, click on images. Once you have that, you get this row with more filters. And I want you to train yourself to go to tools next. Don't click on any of these images yet. Why? Because some of these are copyrighted. That's why. Go to tools. Now you see something called usage rights. Whoops. Did I remember to write that in there? Tools. Yeah, I kind of forgot that level. Sorry. After tools, you're going to look at usage rights. There we go. Usage rights. Blah. You can kind of make that out. Sorry. Okay. So here's what we have to click on then. When you click on usage rights, now you're going to see, oh my gosh, Creative Commons licenses. Isn't that cool? There we go. All right. Millie came to say hello. Hi, Millie. How are you? Do you want to come up? Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. She's loving having me home. This is not a good thing. All right. Now, all of these pictures. Oh my goodness. Tons of them. Do you see they're all coming from a lot of different websites? So as you start digging into some of these pictures, you have to start hunting for the license. So here's one cute puppy. When you dig in, Flickr is a website we're going to use a lot for images. You got to start looking for anything about licensing. Okay. As you start looking, you're like, oh, here's the creator, la 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 la. Ooh, now take a look. I see down here, I see this little icon here. That's the person. Ta-da. If you click here, you're going to see, oh, here we go. CCBY. Don't worry about this 2.0 indeed. Just look for the letters, either BY, SA, NC, ND. Those are the ones you're looking for. Okay. So finish the rest of the worksheet. I know this was long today, but it takes a while to kind of get the hang of this Creative Commons stuff. Okay. Because it's something you probably have not seen before. So your job, Finish up these two scenarios, what you think for those ones, and then go on your image hunt. Tell me what kind of license. All right, good luck.